Yamaha's YXZ is the world's first pure sport side-by-side with a fully manual transmission. But you already knew that. You probably also already know that we think in its element, it's a blast to drive. And if you knew that, you'd also know we're not crazy about it for average trail riding. No, the vehicle is anything but average, but the YXZ really is a bit of a one-trick pony in terms of where you'd want to drive it. Yamaha knew this was going to be the case from the very first moment they conceived the YXZ, which is why, from the moment they started designing the YXZ, they also started designing the YXZ SS right alongside it.
The SS has been in development for quite a while. We developed both these vehicles together. We've developed them in a multitude of different environments, whether it be out in the sand dunes or the East Coast or West Coast type riding. But really, these vehicles play well off of each other. And it just depends on how you want to experience that pure sport world, and that's why we offer both models. The sport shift buyer, might be someone that just wants a little less interaction with the vehicle, but they still want that pure sport driving experience, and we knew that going in. So when we developed the manual shift YXZ, obviously this is a revolutionary product. Why we needed to kind of fill out that world again is to bring people in that may be a little hesitant to just remove that clutch pedal.
The heart of any YXZ is definitely that awesome 3-cylinder motor. But now that we have two YXZ models to choose from, we need to find out what makes the YXZ SS unique.
So there's a lot of different technologies out there in the market today. One could make a comparison to something along the automotive side. A vehicle like maybe a Toyota Camry does have a paddle type system. The one key thing I think people need to understand is there's a wide variety of how these systems work and why they work in certain environments. So one key difference would be like an F1 sports car, is completely different, than something an everyday user would have in their automobile. So, we actually use basically a fully manual style transmission with a fully manual style clutch with an MCU or sport shift system that actuates it for you. So it really gives you a pure sport driving experience. What we mean is keeps that direct connection feeling. So whether you're hammering into a corner or if you really want to charge in really hard, it's really going to give you positive engagement shifts and really understand and feel what's happening with your vehicle. So with this auto clutch actuator, what it does is it mimics what a professional driver would do. So the best way to think of it is in those terms. So a professional driver, if you are shifting through the gears, they're going to depress the clutch, shift the gear, let the clutch out smoothly. The auto clutch system will do all of those things for you. Which makes it a really easy to use feature of the vehicle, and it's the core technology of the sport shift.
Once you wrap your head around what sport shift actually is, there are a few features you need to understand to get the most out of the system, starting with half clutch.
We've incorporated some things into the vehicle, one of which is in the meter you'll see is a half clutch indicator. So it's just a small green light, has kind of a picture of a clutch that's depressed, and you'll notice that going on and off as you're driving. It's simply just telling the user that's in a half clutch position. So what we mean by that is the vehicle could be moving and the clutch is not fully engaged while you're moving. It will sense the input of the tires and speed and release the clutch as necessary, and that clutch light will go off. So why that's important is because a lot of people really won't feel it because the system is so smooth at certain times, and they won't know, especially if they're not a professional driver, that it's in this half clutch condition. So it's just an indicator to tell people what is going on with the transmission of the vehicle.
The next two features are ones you might not find on your own, but they can come in extremely handy. They are dynamic clutch engagement and auto downshift.
Think of yourself in a situation where either you're pinned between two rocks or you're trying to get out of a creek bed, something where there's a really heavy load or a high load on the tires, and you kind of need to get yourself up out of there. Well, the sport shift system will sense that. So it knows, because you're putting in a lot of throttle input, hey, I need to get up over this cliff or this small ravine. It will simply kind of spike the clutch for you, get you up to about 1000 RPMs, kind of give you that boost and up over what you need to get over. The auto downshift feature is not designed to be a feature that makes this vehicle an automatic. So we built this feature in. It's really simple if you think about it in terms. Think you're riding with your buddies, you're out there in a group of people, you're in third gear and you just slightly come up to a stop. You're waiting for your friends. You look down, the vehicle actually shifts from third to second to first for you automatically. So to give you an example, a circumstance where it would not auto downshift for you, which most people would think, is if, say, you're going through a field and you come up to something you want to brake very aggressively in third gear, you stab the brakes, you maybe even lock up the wheels, and then you want to get back on the throttle again. This vehicle is not going to downshift for you at that point. And we build it that way for a reason. Again, we want the user to control really and have that direct connection feeling to the vehicle.
The final piece of interesting tech built into the sport shift system on the YXZ SS is one that's designed to remove any possible advantage a fully manual YXZ might have, specifically when leaving the starting line.
Again, it can really come back to this explanation. As a professional driver, they're going to, really rev the vehicle up to maybe 10,000, 10,500 RPMs and release the clutch and launch the vehicle. With the sport shift system, early in development, we really weren't able to do that. Again, it would kind of leave a little easier, and we didn't really want any scenario where this vehicle would be any different than a fully manual transmission. So we developed this launch system, and what it can do is the user can simply hold the brake, pull back the paddle, it'll engage the launch system. They can rev the vehicle anywhere from 5,000 up to 10,500 RPMs, which is redline. Simply release the paddles. Those are, if you will, kind of your clutch, and the vehicle will launch.
Whether you're buying a sport shift or fully manual YXZ, there is one thing you always get when you buy a Yamaha, and it may just be the thing that's more important than any other.
So one of the key attributes of Yamaha is our legendary durability, and that doesn't matter if you're out there buying a Grizzly ATV, if you're buying a Yamaha generator, or if you're buying a YXZ1000R sport shift. All these vehicles go through our rigorous testing and design, and I'm sure it's well known in the market today. We know that it's one of the key reasons why people buy a Yamaha product, and the sport shift is not changing any of that.
Like the video you just saw? Do you want to see more? Click the subscribe link and add the Dirt Tracks channel, and you're going to see a whole lot more great content.